Welcome to another episode of The Web Show that's made with just a handy cam and a laptop. It was so much fun being in LA on this trip, and then it was time to go over to New York City and catch up with Isabel Dawson. How I met her was so crazy. Oh my god, a show on itself. But it was great to go to her place and sit down and have a chat. And I also met Dave there filming. You'll meet him later. Here she is.
Oh, you're gonna actually answer questions, right?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Okay. Be so blue.
No, it's hot. Okay, Celia Cruz is a song that I wrote from my godmother, Celia. La reina cantaba, llamaba la gente. The queen always sang, and she loved all of the people of the world.
Anthony's another mate I met while living in New York. He's an absolute classic, always got something on the go. Acting and painting. If something's happening in New York, then Anthony will definitely be amongst it.
I just did the Rainbow Warrior, I call it. I was walking in Astor Place and I saw these guys throwing a 9x5 foot painting on a dumpster about 6 months ago. It's just like that. It looks like a bomb's going off under all my shit. It's definitely a piece of work.
And you carried that how many blocks?
About 20 blocks.
The next day, it was time to catch up with Dave. He wanted to show me where he grew up. He's a really cool guy.
Hi, everybody in Australia. My name is David Cruz. I'm from New York City, but my parents are originally from the Caribbean area. As you can see, my Caribbean shirt mates. You're gonna make it in with the Australian crocodiles. You could definitely make it here.
The adventure continued to Spanish Harlem, where we met Roberto, the restaurant owner.
It's called La Funda Boricua. It's nice. It's safe. Don't worry, fellas. You know.
I receive already people from Australia, and something I can tell about and I can say they are very wine testers. They really know about wines.
Walking the streets of New York, you can never know who you run into. Fellow Aussies can pop up anywhere.
Okay, I'm travelling around the world. Thought it'd take 20 years to travel around the world. So I left about 4.5 years ago and just haven't left the States, just enjoying it. So
Just let me get this right, you thought it'd take 20 years.
travel the world. No matter what you do, you walk in any door, it's something completely different from something you did just before that.
Yes. From there, I crossed the street and caught up with another old friend who's been living the crazy life. His name's Thomas. A mate of mine, Thomas, who's from Australia but now in New York. Mate, where are we exactly?
This is Tompkins Square Park, Togsy.
Is this a place you usually come and hang out, or what?
No, negative. We were just meeting a friend of ours, another Aussie guy, you know, Anthony Robb. We were just going to meet him out here.
Right, okay.
Shot a movie up in Vancouver, which is coming out soon. It's called Saved.
Okay.
Mandy Moore's in it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you play?
I play Jesus Christ. Funnily enough.
That's awesome, man. Did you do much research for that part?
Yeah, I did actually, all through my honeymoon. The longer my hair grew and the longer my beard grew, when I was in Barcelona and Spain, people really started calling me Jesus. And,
Yeah, I can imagine.
And it was getting, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. The next morning I caught up with Ian, one of my best mates.
How are you? Good, buddy.
He's been killing it lately in the modelling world, and it was great catching up with him. So coming to New York, I mean, backtrack a little for us, like...
Man, it's the bizarrest story. All of a sudden I went from out of high school at 18 with no money to doing a commercial, and they just sort of said, okay, well, this is what you have to do, this is how much money you get, sign the contracts here. And it was a Snickers commercial, and they had the Rolling Stones Satisfaction was the song. And all of a sudden they just put you on set and they go, okay, now go and act.
Rosario Dawson is one of the brightest stars in American cinema. She was getting an award this day from the people of the Lower East Side. She's such a beautiful person. And when her mum's around, then something's always happening.
It's gonna be really great once I learn to play.
People in Australia would be just starting to see you in films. I'm sure people in America are getting to know you and stuff. But your story quickly and how you came to be on the big screen, it's quite amazing, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. It's definitely one of those strange, like, got caught in a pizzeria kind of things. I was hanging out on my block, and Larry Clark and Harmony Korine, who were the director and writer, respectively, of Kids, came up to me and asked me if I wanted to be in their film and come in on it, and I said, sure, and it's sort of been what I've been doing ever since.
Can you remember some pretty weird lyrics you wrote as a kid?
Actually, it's a song I wrote with my brother and my mom when I was 10. Dump one eye, dump your other eye, pick your nose and stick it in your mouth.
Then it was back to Henry's, who was cool enough to let me stay. He's an awesome guy and my former neighbour, 26 Bank Street.
It's amazing, this symmetry of life, isn't it?
Television star, what is going on? What is going on with the world? But as though we didn't know, people in the mix, as though we didn't know Henry would get his big break in certain things. But tell people in Australia what you're doing.
Somebody from the E-Networks called me up and they said, listen, we've seen your work. We'd like you to interview for this, audition for this job. And it's called Style Court. It's exactly like Judge Judy, but it's in fashion and you'd be the judge. And I'm thinking, that's perfect. This is one of my proudest moments in New York. I know that sounds really weird, but I played at this event called Swank, and that's me, Judge Henry Roth's Style Court.
That night I went cruising with Lyle in his brand new Mustang. We went for a drive up through Times Square. It was amazing at night. The next day it was up to see Jeff Booth, the general manager of the New York Post. I took a cab ride uptown. What sort of people you have in the back here?
From A to Z. Oh, yeah. Sports figures.
What do you know about Australia?
Not too much except what Paul Hogan tells me.
Jeff lives on the 43rd floor of the Trump Tower building. It was an amazing view and a really cool chat. He actually grew up in the same town I did.
I mean, New York is sold as the biggest and the best place on earth, and if you want to compete, then you've got to be the best of the best. And that's not true. I mean, people that live and work here in New York City are the same as people that live and work in Sydney or in Melbourne.
So you're going to give us a tour of the pad?
Come here. Yeah, you have to. You have to. Come here.
Aww. So it's a real bedroom with real clothes on the floor. That's amazing.
Front door, guest room, with the kiddos room.
Hello. What are you watching? Full House.
They really shouldn't have a television in their bed.
Yeah, that could be dangerous.
So that was it for New York. It was now time to jump on a plane and head over to the UK and let the adventure continue.